all of the atmospheric effects and smoke on those images were all done with this. This is the C40 portable fog machine from Telesin, and it has opened up a whole new world for me. Stay tuned to find out what that is. Well, Telesin got in contact with me asking me to take a look at this fog machine, and I said yes, I would take a look. Now initially I was thinking about going outside, putting some fog down on some mushrooms or some fungi, but between my health issues, my back mostly, and the storms, I wasn't able to do that. But that issue and that problem has thrust me into a whole new world that I am absolutely loving, and that's toy photography. Before we get on to talking about the toy photography, let's talk about this fog machine. So when you get it, it comes packaged in a nice box. Nothing wrong with the packaging on here. And inside the box we have a nice hard case. This will fit nicely into my camera bag when I'm out and about if I wish to do outdoor smoke effects on any of my shoots. When you first get the portable fog machine and you open it up, you have the main machine, which is this part here, which is the actual machine itself. And the most important part in there is the instructions. And I did have to read through the instructions quite well to understand the operation of this. You've got the main unit with a transparent head there. In this section here we have the oil tank, which is what the liquid goes into. We have a USB cable, we have multi accessories to put on the end to create different types of smoke effects. Let's talk about the main unit first. Well, you can see the size, that's in my hand, so it's easily portable. Underneath we have a 1/4 inch thread, so you can put it onto a tripod or any type of mounting you wish to. Platypod gear, for example, is perfect for that. It has an internal 2500 milliamp battery, which is charged via this USB-C port just here, and takes approximately 2.5 hours to charge. With the kit, you get a 60mm bottle of atomization liquid, which is what is used to create the smoke or the fog. So to fill it, we take the oil tank, and I filled it before screwing it in, but now obviously I've used it, so now I've used it, I'm going to fill it up, and we pull out this little plug here. There we go. And we pop in some liquid, making sure to try and keep it as clean as possible. Secure the plug back in, make sure that plug is secured in there, because this is it's like an oily liquid. It gets everywhere. And also be cautious as what to use this on. I'm not going to be using this on camera gear. I'm mostly going to be using it for atmospheric effects. But I'm not going to spray this directly onto my cameras and that, because I'd have to clean it off. Like a little residue that might appear there. It's not that noticeable, but just be aware there might be something like that. And once you've got it charged up, which mine came charged out the box, we can then put on the accessories which create different effects. So these different tubes, they shape the fog, so you can create different effects with it. Again, just be creative with that. So to start it up, we press and hold the power button for about 3 seconds for it to come on, and we have different options down here. Essentially what we have is we have some presets. We got steam, fog is the one I use the most, dry ice, and these presets, they work brilliantly. I haven't had to mess with them, but if you do need to mess with them, then what we can do is select the option key, the select key. We can choose the amount of fog and the fan speed. And once you do that, you just press go and it starts doing its thing. Whee! I'm not going to do too much, man. It's going to be fully there. If we click on the select button, we can increase the timer, and it goes from 5 seconds to 200 seconds. And now if I press the button, it will run for 5 seconds and then automatically turn off. Believe me, I'm having way more fun with this thing than I thought I would do. But another neat thing that they did is this controller here is detachable. So it's a wireless controller, which is a great thing. I haven't had to use any apps. There's no app for this for your iPhone or anything like that, so we ain't got to attach that. So what we can do instead is take this off, put this somewhere out the way, like under a family member's car bonnet, press the button to turn it on and make it look like their car's on fire. Realistically, what I would do with this is, if I didn't want to interact with a scene, so if I wanted the smoke to be behind something, I'm behind the camera taking the picture, I can remotely activate it without having to move away from the camera. That is fantastic. And I will give Telesin credit for this and not using it as an app that most companies will do, is using an app, and I'm not into those apps. I prefer to be able to just use it as I will. Now the noise, as you can hear, is audible. It is quite audible. So if you need to be on a quiet set, you might want to turn down the fan speed, which again, we can go over to a fan, turn it down. You can see it's a lot quieter, but the smoke doesn't rise. The smoke doesn't rise as much as before. Now it is safe to use. Another thing I want to mention is underneath here, we've got a silicone non-slip pad. So when we put it down, it's hard to move it around and slip it around. That's a nice little feature. But let's talk about how one simple email from a company has caused a kind of a revolution in my mind when it comes to my photography. Telesin, they emailed me way before now. It was a couple of months I've had this. And because of my health issues and the rev, I've had difficulty trying to figure out how am I going to show this in use with macro photography. My initial thoughts was mushroom photography, put a little bit of mist down at the below the mushroom, which I'm still going to give a go if the storms ever go away, and my back starts to work so I can get out. It means I've had to do something else because I don't want to bring insects into the studio and photograph them. It's given a bad impression for beginner photographers thinking that it's good to do that, so I'm not doing that. I will photograph my jumper spiders, I will photograph rescued spiders that I find around the house, like in this video here, but other than that, I'm not doing any insects in the studio, so I'm going to lean on toy photography. Now this is the dog alien from Alien 3. It's from NECA Toys, and all the images you've seen in this video are photographed from that toy. I used the fog machine to create atmospheric effects, give depth to the images, and more importantly, create these light beams, or God rays as you would see them in nature, coming in from the side, which was used by lighting it through a little bit of metal that's got holes in, using a lume cube to colour the light and shape it. Without the fog machine, I wouldn't get those streaks of light in the images. So this is great at that type of effect, and I absolutely love it. Just be aware to not overuse it. Subtle amounts of it, but you don't need it in every single shot. So when you get something like this, you could be tempted to use it on everything. So use it sparingly, don't overuse it, but have fun while doing it. When it comes to this smoke machine, I think every photographer and YouTuber should have this option in their bag. It's absolutely great for instance, the toy photography, giving atmospheric effects, putting smoke into your videos, your B-roll, like you see here of the alien. But between the lighting and the fog machine, that is what's made everything come together and created these type of images. And it's been really, really fun to do. I really enjoyed myself doing this type photography, which means you are going to be seeing a lot more of it on the channel in the future. If you want to pick one of these up, maybe as a Christmas present for a photographer friend or videographer friend that you know, there's a link in the description below now, and there is currently a sale on, so check out that link for the latest prices of this fog machine. But that's where I'm going to leave this video. And I thank you for getting to the end of this video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe and click the like button. It really does help out the channel. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for their continued support in supporting me and this channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, then check in the description below this video for a link to Patreon. If you want to continue watching my macro journey, then click one of the videos in front of you now.